E.N.D here. Today we're going to discuss Chaos Orb. Chaos Orb, it's an artifact that was released with the first set of Magic the Gathering, that is Alpha. It is also in the reserve list, that means that this card will never be reprinted. And for 2, it comes into play, and then you pay 1, you flip the card, you flip Chaos Orb into the playing area from a height of at least 1 foot. 1 foot is the length of approximately a ruler, a normal ruler. You flip the card, Chaos Orb must turn completely at least once, or it's discarded with no effect. That means that the card had to turn at least once, or else the effect does nothing. When Chaos Orb lands, any card in play that it touches are destroyed, as is Chaos Orb. That means that if the card, here I have a photocopy, obviously I don't have the card, it's a very expensive card, we're talking about $2,000 card in mint condition. The card has to flip at least once, and any card that it touches, with it will be destroyed. Let me give you a small tutorial how this was being used and how this worked. Basically, let's build our battlefield. Let's put our land cards in play. We have our lands. We have some creatures. Let's put a couple of creatures. This is our battlefield. This is what a normal battlefield looks like, what a normal playing area looks like when you're playing Magic the Gathering. There's also on the other side your opponent, and let's say that your opponent casts Chaos Orb. He casts Chaos Orb, he put Chaos Orb in play and pays the 1 and is ready to do the flip. He's going to flip from a height of at least 1 foot, that is the height of a ruler. I'm going to put the ruler here. Let me try and zoom out a little bit. Much better. So I'm going to put the ruler here. I'm going to flip the card, and whatever the card touches, it is destroyed. I'm going to do it again because I really did a disaster. Let me do it again. And any card that it touches, it is destroyed. That means that all these cards are destroyed. At that time, when this card was being played, it's a perfect name for it. It's a Chaos Orb. It was chaotic. When this was in, let's say, standard at that time it was not known as standard, I think it was known as type 1. When this card was being played, it was chaotic. First of all, everyone was afraid of it, and what happened? Everyone was playing with lands all scattered around the playing area. Because everyone was afraid of Chaos Orb. Really and truly, everyone was trying to take as much playing area as possible, going outside of personal boundaries. Really and truly, in Magic the Gathering, there is no rule that specify the area, the distance of the cards in the game area. There is no rule where you put the lands. Sometimes they put the lands in front of the creatures. Really and truly, there is no rule where you put the cards. The only rule that applies is the tap and untap. That is the only rule that applies. Therefore, you can imagine how chaotic it was at that time when they playing Chaos Orb. Playing area was extended even in big tournaments, and you know that in big tournaments playing area is quite restricted. Everyone was trying to put lands, creatures, enchantments, anything at a distance, so that Chaos Orb touches only at least one card or hopefully nothing. Now, here's the story. One fine day, during a particular tournament, there was someone that played Chaos Orb. The opponent, realizing the effect of Chaos Orb, because as I said, there is no rule that specifies the distance or where you put the cards, because he was afraid of Chaos Orb, he just put the lands far from each other and the permanents far from each other. He tried to do as much as possible so that Chaos Orb could only destroy at least one permanent only. His opponent, realizing what is happening, and as I said, there was no rule that specify where you put the lands. There's no rule that each mountain has to be together. So the player did well. He tried to defend himself. What happens is that this particular guy, which at that time, let's say Chaos Orb was in type 1 or standard, it was not a $2,000 card, for sure, to try and hit as much as possible permanents, he teared the card into pieces. Yes, because, let's read the rules again. It says, flip Chaos Orb onto the playing area from a height of at least 1 foot. So there's nothing here to confirm. Chaos Orb must turn completely once or is discarded. When it lands any card in play that it touches, it is destroyed. Therefore, what this intelligent player did, or wise player did, he teared the card into pieces, into very small pieces, like I'm doing, and he did exactly what the rules implies. He took the pieces of the card from a distance of 1 foot, and he threw the pieces of Chaos Orb around the playing area. Every card that Chaos Orb touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, these cards are destroyed. Obviously, the opponent didn't like this idea, and really there was no rule. He called a judge. It seems, let me clean again here. It seems that the judge at that time, realizing what happened, he confirmed the ruling. Yes, it is strange what I'm saying. He confirmed the ruling. He said that there was no particular rule that specifies if the card is intact or not, and the judge at that time, he said, yes, this is permissible. This I rule in favor of the player that teared Chaos Orb. From that card, this particular card was born. This is from the set Unglued. This is Chaos Confetti, which says for pay 4, tear Chaos for Confetti into pieces, throw the pieces on the playing area from a distance of at least 5 feet. That means 5 feet means that you need to stand up on a table or at least go nearly 2 meters far from the table. Destroy each card in play that a piece touches. Remove the pieces from the game afterwards. This is Chaos Confetti. This is, as I said, a card from Unglued, and Unglued was a fun set, not tournament legal, and this card was born. This is the story of Chaos Orb and Chaos Confetti. Why and what made Chaos Confetti be born? I hope you like this story. It's an interesting story. When the first time I read it, I really said, wow, what good thinking that particular player had that tiered the card. After that, Chaos Orb is banned in the major formats I think very few formats can be played, even though it's a reserve list, and I don't think people will play Chaos Orb before because of the high value, and I'm sure nowadays no one will tier Chaos Orb because an alpha has a price of around 2000 and even more. You can leave me a comment below if you like this particular video, if you like stories about history of the Magic the Gathering, especially history about Chaos Orb. And here the subscription button, subscribe for my channel for more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.